that would like to actually view this webinar, please feel free to ask them to go to the Nuffield Dental or Nuffield Academy's YouTube channels. You can just search it on YouTube and you can definitely find our channels over there. So we'll be sharing a couple of polls during the webinar. So feel free, please participate. And if you do have any questions, please post your questions on the Q&A portion at the bottom part of your Zoom screen. If you can see, there's a Q&A, so type your questions over there. You can leave it anonymous. You want to put your names there, it'll be great. Looking forward for you to have a insightful webinar. So me from Nuffield Academy. So we Nuffield Academy deliver high quality, continual professional and education courses and content for dental surgeons and dental support staff. Today, we are partnering with Nuffield Dental to bring you this webinar. So the webinar is Braces or Invisalign, which is better for me. So the highlights are why straighten teeth, how do braces and Invisalign work, the pros and cons of each method. So I'll just like to start with the first poll. So I'll be launching a poll, so just feel free. It's just very simple. Just select one of the, if the options are valid for you. I'll leave the poll up for 1 minute. Okay, I think most have answered. So from the poll, the results would be 57% actually joined the webinar because they're curious. Second is getting information for family and friend, and the third one will be thinking of straightening my own teeth. Okay, so I would like to definitely introduce our speaker, our guest speaker today, Dr. Asha. She's a practicing dentist at Nuffield Dental Novena. And she is the former president of the former president of Singapore Dental Health Foundation. She has nearly 40 years of experience as a dentist and provides services such as periodontist treatment, teeth straightening, and root canals. So health education is an integral part of Dr. Asha's general dental practice, and she firmly believes that treatment of a disease is only temporary relief if the patients are not enabled to keep themselves healthy. So without further ado, Dr. Asha.
Hello and welcome to this webinar. I'm very curious as to the number of people who have signed up for this webinar purely out of curiosity. So I hope that I'll be able to satisfy your curiosity over the next 45 minutes. Since most of you are just curious about straightening the teeth, I thought I would start off with a very basic question. Why straighten the teeth? Okay, here we are. The most obvious problem that we have with having crooked teeth is that it's difficult to clean. As you can see over here, teeth that are sticking in and out like that, it is difficult to clean. And if it is difficult to clean, there are consequences. For example, over here, you can see that white spot, that's an abscess, an accumulation of pus due to the irritation caused by all the debris accumulating around this crooked tooth. And very unfortunately, that tooth had to be removed. Another reason that teeth should be straightened is that teeth that are crooked are a lot more difficult to keep clean and they're more susceptible to decay. As you can see in this situation, this is a picture taken of the inside surfaces of the upper front teeth. And you can see that this person has got multiple fillings, and the fillings themselves have succumbed to decay. So we've talked about the importance of straightening your teeth. One, it's difficult to clean. So when it's not easy to clean, you become more susceptible to disease like gum disease and tooth decay. The other thing about having irregular or crooked teeth is that it affects the way you bite. As in this unfortunate situation, you can see that the teeth are not touching each other at all. So you can definitely understand how the patient would not be able to chew food on this side. Of course, the most common reason for straightening the teeth is really to look good. Once the teeth are straightened, you look more refined, more elegant, and let's face it, more attractive. Take a look at this picture. This is a middle-aged man, and he started his braces in his mid-50s, and look at him. He looks more elegant, more refined, and that's the advantage of straightening your teeth. And straight teeth, well, we all enjoy someone who has a beautiful smile, but it's not just for young people. It's not just for young people, and it's not just for movie stars and models. If you look at this composite, you will find that even politicians and heads of state, if they have good teeth, they tend to be more successful politicians. So that brings me to another question. Perhaps, Gad, you can help me with this poll. I'd like to know the age group of the people who are attending. After all, most of them are here purely out of curiosity. So I'd like to know, how old are these people who are curious? Gad, will you be able to do the poll?
Yep, launch the poll already.
I know that when people look at this collection of slides, they're going to say, my goodness, even when you look at a head of state, you are looking at their teeth. I confess, I do that. None of you are under the age of 21. So you're all adults, and a good portion of you are above the age of 50. Well done. Well done, because I see more and more middle-aged people, older people straighten their teeth now. So it's like people they did not have the opportunity to straighten their teeth when they were younger. So as they get older, they realize the value of straight teeth, and they're happy to straighten their teeth. So thank you very much for that, Gad. I will now continue. I can't seem to move forward. Okay. Now, there are some people who feel reluctant to do something about their crooked teeth because they'll say, well, this is my natural self, and maybe I shouldn't try to modify my natural self because this is my natural me and I have to accept it. My view is we have always modified nature. It is in us to improve upon what we have, and we change our color, our hair color, we put on makeup, we wear contact lenses, we wear false eyelashes. We do all that because we want to be better. But here's the thing, all these things, they have to be removed at the end of the day. Before you go to sleep, you have to take them off. But a good-looking set of teeth, they will stay with you. All right, so I hope all the questions of should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, all those doubts are cleared, and all of you are saying, I want to straighten my teeth. Okay, once people have decided to straighten their teeth, what do they do next? Well, they go to the internet. Everyone goes to Google. And yes, they may come across things like braces and Invisalign, and they might go, what do they actually mean? Or worse, you may end up scratching your head because there are just suddenly so many issues to think about, like where to go, who to see, and what is ceramic? Is that what I should get? Braces, there are so many different brands, and then installment plans. Hang on, how much is all this going to cost me? And with all that, with so many questions, sometimes people don't move forward. They don't move forward because they have put the cart before the horse. They're doing things the wrong way round. And so much so that with all these questions and thinking, they just don't move forward to doing what they want to do. So my view is understand that braces and Invisalign are merely tools. If you wanted to renovate your house, you would first have to find out what is the problem. What are the things that need to be repaired or remodeled? What are the needs of the family so that you can design your house according to the needs of the family? So all that needs to be considered before you call a plumber or an electrician or a contractor. So in the same way, when it comes to straightening your teeth, you need to understand the problem. And only after understanding the problem can you decide what needs to be done. Let's take an example. I hope that all of you can see that this is a block of wood with a nail sticking out. Now, when I see a block of wood with nails sticking out, my instinct tells me, hammer it in, make it flush with the block of wood. But you might say, hang on, throw away that hammer. I want to pull out that nail. Totally different tool is needed. So it's important to understand the problem, because sometimes we might see the same thing, but perceive the problem differently. There are many things to be done to understand the problem. I start off with an interview. Then I go on to examining the mouth. Then I gather data. I take x-rays, models, scans, take photographs. And these days, we can also go through a computer simulation. I will explain more on this in a minute. First of all, we've got to understand you. That begins with an interview. What do you see as the problem? What are your priorities? What are your concerns? What time do you have left in order to do this? This is important because I've had a lot of stress when halfway through the treatment, the patient just announces, oh, I'm going to get married in 4 months. Suddenly, I only have 4 months to complete treatment. That's very stressful. Don't give your dentist such stress. Or are you planning to leave the country? Are you going to be posted overseas? Are you planning to study overseas? All these things are very important to know right up front. We need to know what your schedule is. Are you able to come to the clinic on a regular basis? Of course, what is your budget? And we need to discuss the limitations of what can be done for you. I often spend as much as half an hour just understanding the patient. Then I have to understand the condition. This involves understanding the relationship of the jaws, the condition of the teeth and the gums. If there is any kind of disease in terms of gum disease, tooth decay, or any other issue, that has got to be corrected first. You can only move teeth, align teeth, if the teeth and its surroundings are healthy. So disease needs to be treated first before we make the teeth look pretty. And of course, we have to understand how the teeth bite against each other. So there are many things. Of course, we need to take x-rays to understand what lies beneath what is visible. In this x-ray, many of you can recognize the wisdom teeth that are over there. But the real problem is the canine. This patient came to me because there were some spaces, and with the x-ray, we could see that the space was due to missing teeth and buried teeth. Here too, you can see that there is a lot of crowding. Yes, of course, the wisdom teeth are again horizontally jammed, impacted, but more than that, other teeth are also very squeezed for space. That second molar is really tight for space, and that's going to be very difficult to treat. Now, I know I'm showing you x-rays. X-rays are not the only thing that we need to look at. Sometimes my clinic gets emails from people sending me their x-rays, and they say, this is my x-ray, I want to straighten my teeth, how much and how long? That can't be done. That can't be done. We have to examine all of you to understand all of your problem. Understanding your condition is so important. In this young woman, she came to me and she said she doesn't like her teeth sticking out. And I could agree with her that, yes, it is indeed a problem. And she asked me, braces or Invisalign? Well, I looked at her from all sides and I took x-rays. And from the side view, you can see that she looks quite all right, from her nose to her lips, it looks quite all right. But then her chin is very small. So this young woman had a disproportion of her jaws, her upper jaw and her lower jaw. And this can't be corrected with either braces or Invisalign. In her case, she would really benefit from surgery. So understanding your condition is so important before you even talk about the tools. Then, of course, we record your condition. We make some three-dimensional models of your teeth. These are plaster casts that are very good references, not only to understand the problem, but also to see how much your teeth will improve subsequently. So remember, the tools can only be decided on after understanding the problem. And braces and Invisalign, they're both just tools. Let's take a step back now. Going back to influencing nature. Many of you would be familiar with bonsai, that very old technique of altering the shape of plants by wrapping wire around the branches of the plant. And by training the branches this way, eventually a very small plant can look like a very ancient tree. And this is done with wires. In the same way, teeth can be straightened with wires. The teeth are guided into position with a very special series of wires that have memory. The wires are very flexible. They can engage these brackets. These are called brackets. The brackets hold the wire onto the teeth. And the wire, because it's elastic, can get into the brackets of even crooked teeth. But because the wire has memory, it straightens up. And within a month, the front teeth, you can see how much better they look. Let me just show you 1 month before and 1 month after. So that's because these wires have got memory. They remember to straighten up. And as they straighten up, they bring the teeth with them. Braces can be fun. Initially, people may be shy or awkward when they wear their braces, but eventually the braces become part of their identity. They get excited when the teeth become straight. And each month when they come for their dental visits, they're eager to play around with colors. For example, just last weekend, their favorite color was orange and black because it was Halloween. I'm sure soon we'll be getting more requests for red and green for Christmas. So the braces become part of your identity. And just like you change your clothes, you want to change the colors on your teeth and just flaunt it, have fun with it. Of course, there are people who are not into that, and they may want to have braces made of ceramic. The wires are still wire. These days, we do have wires that have a certain white coating, but there are certain drawbacks with using those kind of wires. My view is you're wearing braces, you're doing something to improve your appearance, show it off, flaunt it, be proud of it. Now, never let anyone tell you that you can't brush your teeth with braces. My patients are taught very well how to brush their teeth, and they're told, brush your braces just the way you brush your own teeth. So if you care about your teeth, if you take care of your own teeth, you can definitely take care of your braces. So that is not a problem. It's just a matter of desire. It's a matter of wanting to keep clean. Braces are very versatile. They have been in use for more than a century. And like any technology, it has been going through many innovations, many improvements, and there are many techniques around braces. So they're extremely versatile. They can handle a wide variety of problems. And because the adjustments are made by the dentist, sometimes if you want to tweak things along the way, you want to change certain things, that can be done within reason, of course. Now, let's look at another way to influence nature. I was very intrigued to see this picture. How do you make square watermelons? Well, you grow them in a square mold. I thought that was extremely clever. In the same way, we can guide not the growth of teeth, but the movement of teeth with a series of molds. Each of these molds, they guide, they gently push the teeth just a fraction of a millimeter per stage. And through a series of stages, the teeth move to a desired position. And these devices are called aligners. How do they look? I say, think of them as contact lenses for the teeth. Just like contact lenses for the eyes correct your vision. So in the same way, contact lenses for the teeth, aligners, help to straighten your teeth. Aligners are active appliances. Active meaning that they work. They work to line up the teeth. So when you wear them, you will feel a little bit of force because that force is what gently pushes the teeth into position. The word aligner is a generic term. Generic means a general term. And when we say Invisalign, it's a brand name. Invisalign is the pioneer for aligners. They have held exclusive patents for about 20 years. And during those 20 years, they have had an enormous amount of research and development. And they have been constantly improving even the materials that they use. So definitely Invisalign leads the pack of aligners. So I would be using the word Invisalign almost synonymously with aligners. The main feature of the aligner is that it's clear. So just like contact lenses, most people don't know that you're wearing it. Of course, if you look very carefully, you could see it. For example, this is my patient. Can you see her aligners? Let's get a little closer. I think you can see it now, right? You can see the edges of the aligner just there. These are the margins of the aligner. But really, I've expanded her smile, probably about 2 or 3 times for you to see that. One of the things that aligners use to help move teeth are tiny little tooth-colored attachments on the teeth. Can you see them here? What about here? I have to admit, it's difficult even for me to see it, even though I had put them on. Let me show it to you. Can you see them now? Well, they're tiny little attachments that are worn during, that become part of your teeth, and you wear them through, you wear it for as long as you're wearing the active aligners. And at the end of active treatment, they are quite easily removed. Other little accessories that are used with, let me explain to you with a diagram. In this diagram, the attachments are shown in pink. And you can see how with these 2 attachments, it acts to sort of move the teeth in a particular direction when the plastic of the aligner engages the attachment. Here is another example where teeth that are tipped this way, they are uprighted and then slowly brought together by the attachments. Very clever little devices. Other accessories that are used are rubber bands, and rubber bands are also used with braces. So those who have worn rubber bands during braces would be familiar with this. This is an example of a patient wearing braces. And this is another view of the same patient. The elastics attached to certain hooks in the appliance. These little bubbles that you see are not bubbles, but the plastic that's covering the attachments. The benefits, certainly they are deemed more comfortable because there is the brackets of braces are not sticking out and there are no wires, so they're generally considered more comfortable. They are removable. Some people like that. Also, because it's removable and you can eat and clean normally, people might consider that convenient. There are other considerations. It's not for all cases. Certain complex cases might be better treated with braces. Since they are removable appliances, it is essential that once you've taken it out to eat and clean, you put them back, you wear them. They need to be worn, yes? Invisalign work if you work. Of course, it is a patented technology. It's really pretty awesome technology. And with all the research and development involved, of course, it does cost a little bit more. Generally, Invisalign would cost perhaps about 50% more than braces treatment. I must emphasize this, and this is why I've put it in yellow. Aligners need to be worn 20 to 22 hours a day for them to be effective. They are taken out only for eating and for cleaning the teeth. Taking it out is easy. You must remember to put them back. And when you put them back, you must put it back in the correct way so that they sit properly and really do their work. When patients are considering aligning their teeth, straightening their teeth, they have a lot of questions. They do want me to do crystal ball gazing and answer their questions, how long will it take? What will it look like? What would I look like at the end of treatment? Many questions. Of course, the most common question is, how long will treatment take? And I do have to give them my educated response, which is, it varies. It varies according to the severity, and we can only give you an estimate after studying all your records. They will want to know how the teeth move. Things like, in this case, we had to take out a tooth to make space for the rest of the teeth. So the question arises, how will it look? Yes, I will have a gap there, but at the end of it, will I look nice? And I have to tell them, yes, you will look nice. How will I look at the end of it? Like this young lady, she said, my crooked tooth, this crooked tooth is my trademark. Will my friends recognize me without my trademark? And I say, oh, your friends will not miss your trademark. They will all be struck by how nice you look. So these are all things that I've had to reassure patients based on my experience. But now with new technology, we can give them a simulation of how they will look at the end of treatment. And it begins by taking a scan. A scan is, it's a series of photographs. It's like going into your mouth, taking a series of photographs and making a three-dimensional image of the teeth. Like in this case, we can see it right and left. We can see it up and down and understand the condition. So this is a three-dimensional scan of the teeth. Now, once this is sent to the laboratory and based on my specific prescription, the lab can send a simulation. Now, this is another case of a simulation. I picked this case because I really wanted you to see what happens to this tooth. This tooth is sticking out, and you can see how the other teeth shift. And as they shift, this front tooth manages to go in. Not only that, I also correct the lower teeth. Can you see how the lower teeth move down so that more of it is visible? So this is a computer simulation, and this can be very helpful for people who are very curious about how they will look at the end of treatment. So understanding the problem is key. Once we understand the problem, then we can have a written agreement between patient and dentist, and only then can treatment be proceeded with. I really need you to appreciate the importance of understanding the problem, because people come in saying that they may need braces or Invisalign, but depending upon what their specific purpose is, the age, the nature of the problem, there may be other ways of dealing with it. And let me give you this example. This was a young girl, only 8 years old. Her upper front tooth was moving inside, so much so that there was a crossbite. It was inside the lower front teeth. And this was very easily resolved. Less than 3 months with a simple removable appliance, we managed to correct that. So my advice is, don't come in thinking that you need to be a particular age or you need to use a particular appliance. Come in with an open mind, tell us your problem, and let us understand what can be done. Now, often patients will listen to me very politely, and then they will say, let me think about it. Fine, very good, think. And again, they will go into the internet and they will ask, are there alternatives? Well, there's one alternative that I would really like to warn you about, and that is instant orthodontics. Instant orthodontics is a huge misleading term. It's not orthodontics at all. It's not alignment of teeth. Orthodontics is the science of moving teeth, moving crooked teeth into the right position. But instant orthodontics, so-called instant, is actually a combination of crowns, veneers, root canal treatments. It does not correct the position of the teeth. It merely masks the position of the teeth. Let me give you an example. And this is an example that I got from the internet. Again, I emphasize this is not my case. I got it from the internet, and here's the link. This is a case where the two side incisors are again growing on the inside of the lower teeth. You can see the level of the gums is vastly different from the other teeth. So what was done? Well, the gums were cut. And after the gums were cut, the 6 front teeth were trimmed down so that temporary crowns could be made while permanent crowns were being made and the gums had time to heal up. The gums do heal up very well, and this is the patient, same patient with 6 ceramic crowns. It's an option, perhaps for people in a hurry, but at what cost? At what cost to your natural teeth? Do you really need to be in such a hurry? For me, it's an issue of philosophy. I would not do that. Here's another case. This is my patient. Again, similar situation. The 2 side incisors are growing on the inside and they are stuck inside the lower front teeth. Again, look at the level of the gum. When the teeth are crooked, the gums are also very irregular. I remember this patient very well because she only gave me 9 months to get this done because she said, I'm getting married. And very fortunately, before her wedding day, she looked like this. And she could smile for her wedding day like that. So this was very rewarding, very rewarding. Happy patient, happy dentist. Let me talk about makeovers. At one time, makeovers were very popular on TV. They certainly make for very entertaining TV. There would be people who come looking like this, but over a period of time, with a lot of intensive exercise and very strict diet, it is possible for someone like this to look like this. That fabulous 6-pack, yes. But this is the exciting part. This is the part that makes everyone go, wow. But there is a part that is quite boring. The boring part is never shown on TV. The boring part is the maintenance. To maintain that 6-pack, you have to continue with your strict diet and exercise. Without that maintenance, you can still look like this. Yes? So in the same way, once your teeth have straightened, you need to maintain them. Fortunately, it does not involve any intense exercise or strict diet. It's really very basic stuff, the kind of stuff that you should be doing even if you don't straighten, even if you did not straighten your teeth. And that is basic stuff: brush, floss, regular visits to the dentist. this is something that you should be doing anyway, right? In addition, the only addition is to wear retainers. Retainers are appliances, passive appliances, to keep or retain your straight teeth. And there are various kinds of retainers, which can be discussed with you between dentist and patient. The main thing to understand is after braces, always retainers. Indeed, after Invisalign, always retainers. Once you've straightened your teeth, you've got to maintain them. And maintenance is done with retainers. Here's an example of removable retainers. These are clear overlay retainers. They look just like regular aligners. The only thing is that they don't actively move teeth, and the material feels different. Hawley's retainer is another removable retainer. It's a classic retainer. It's extremely durable. I've had people wear this for years and years. There are also fixed retainers, as in this case, where after the front teeth were straightened, these are the lower front teeth, after the front teeth were straightened, a special strand of wire was cemented onto the inside of the teeth, and no one can see it from the front. So different kinds of retainers, which will be discussed which type will be discussed with you. So let me very quickly summarize the benefits. Certainly, braces are versatile. Invisalign is clear, they are removable. And oh, hey, not being removable is also a big advantage, because you don't have to keep remembering to put it out and put it in. And then eating, well, so far, I have never had a patient lose weight, even with braces or with Invisalign. So eating is fundamental. You will find ways to eat. Of course, the aligners, they have smooth, comfortable plastic. The dental visits are shorter, easier. And of course, in terms of fees, braces has its advantage. So ultimately, your decision is based on the nature of your problem and what your dentist recommends. And it's also dependent on you and your personality. Any questions? Let me just check. Questions are posed here. Gad, I am not able to see. Gad, is Nuffield there?
Yes.
Have I been talking to myself all this while?
No. I had some, I was trying to find the mute button.
I can't see the questions. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, this is a very commonly asked question. When would I be too old to straighten my teeth? The good news, you are never too old. You're never too old to straighten your teeth. It's all a question of desire and the health of your teeth and gums. I've had several people straighten their teeth when they were in their 50s. In fact, just this afternoon, I had one person tell me that she had straightened her teeth with Invisalign when she was in her 50s. And her only regret, her biggest regret, was that she did not do it when she was earlier. But now she enjoys having straight teeth. Personally, my oldest patient was about 66 when he straightened his teeth. Yes, a man. straightened his teeth when he was 66. I had a father come in. I had just finished straightening the teeth of his 16-year-old daughter. And after I completed the treatment for his 16-year-old daughter, he came in on another visit by himself and said, I want to straighten my teeth. I was thrilled.
There are some questions in the panel, Dr. Asha. Maybe we can look at the Q&A portion. I think there's a first question from Risky Hero. What about cheaper aligners?
Yes, there are alternatives in the market, of course. My practice is to go with the tried, tested, and constantly innovating product that is Invisalign, because they've got excellent R&D. Their software really allows the dentist to do many things. So yes, I go with a tried and tested product. I really cannot comment on other products. Next question, Gad, perhaps you can
Yeah.
read, because I seem
Do
to
we
have
need
some...
extractions, anonymous attendee? Do we need extractions for teeth straightening?
Again, it depends upon the nature of your problem. If you've got crowding means there is not enough space for all the teeth in your mouth. And I showed you a couple of cases through my talk where there was crowding. And even if I straightened all the teeth, I could not line up the teeth properly. So in such a case, I had to take out a few teeth and straighten it. It's very commonly done, and truly after the teeth are straightened up, you won't even know that your teeth are missing.
So far, that's those are the two questions. Anyone who would like to post their questions, please post them now.
I see one question here, and okay, the first question is, when are you too old to have braces? This question is, when is the ideal time to start braces? And this is a question that's often asked to me by parents. When is the ideal time? And really, the answer is there is no one ideal time. Again, it depends upon the nature of the problem. My advice to parents is bring your child routinely for dental visits so that we can monitor how the teeth and jaws develop. As a rule of thumb, primary 1, the permanent teeth are starting to develop, and we can monitor for certain problems like we saw for that young girl that had the teeth growing in a crossbite. That can be very easily treated. Then primary 3 or 4, which is around the age of 9 or 10, that is when puberty occurs. And during puberty, because of the growth spurt, certain things can be very quickly corrected, and we can also adjust the growth of the jaw. So if you have a very small jaw, we can try and push the jaw forward to improve the relationship of the jaw. Then, of course, primary 6, age of 12, 13, that is when most of the permanent teeth would have grown. And again, that might be another time when we go in and deal with certain issues. So go for regular checkups so that treatment can be done at the right physiological time. Having said that, I must also say that the best time to treat is when the patient is ready for treatment. Sometimes patients are brought to me by their parents, but I can see that the child perhaps lacks maturity, lacks interest. And then I turn around to the parents and say, wait, let's wait until the child asks for treatment. So the best time sometimes is when you really want to have your teeth straightened.
So we have a question from Miss Maria Singh. You do have to be very disciplined to put in Invisaligners. So my question is how to ensure that it works for people who are not very disciplined. Not everyone is suited to use Invisalign. So the question is, how do you ensure that it works for people who are not disciplined? That's the question.
Disciplined, I guess, is related to commitment. If you are committed to straightening your teeth and you're committed to using the series of aligners, then yes, I think that discipline will naturally follow. I think it's more a matter of commitment. And if you really feel that you will not have the necessary behavior pattern to take it out, eat, brush your teeth, and put it back in, then I say, go with braces. That's fine too. They both get the job done.
Okay, so I think we can have one last question. That's from an anonymous attendee. Can Invisalign correct my bite?
Yes, yes. Again, the whole purpose of using Invisalign or braces is to help improve the bite, how the upper and lower teeth interdigitate. That's what we call by the bite. Certainly that's, we are not just here looking at straightening the 6 front teeth, we are looking at the whole mouth. And right in one of my opening slides, I had said that crooked teeth affects your bite. Is that all the questions we have?
Yes, that's all the questions been so far.
Okay, very good. So it's been nice giving this talk to all of you, and I hope that those of you who came in just for curiosity, your curiosity has been satisfied. Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. So please feel free to visit our YouTube channel if you'd like to show this video, this webinar to any of your family or friends. Thank you and have a good night.